So another week, another group of Nazi-running Tory-led stories. Benefits and everything seems like the major chasing point for the Conservatives at the minute. The thing is, it's a known fact, if the Conservatives actually chase tax avoidance, i.e. big companies with tax breaks doing stuff overseas, importing, transporting, whatever, all these tax cuts that they have, which they've made with the Conservative government and the Labour government before, it's not just the Conservatives, but if they were to chase tax avoidance, that would more than cover the benefit bill, that would actually put money back into the country and lower the deficit. But Tories being Tories won't do this because a lot of them have backroom deals with these big companies, blah blah blah. Basically all group masturbate each other over deals. Benefits itself, people are going about fraudulent claims and people that shouldn't be on benefits. According to facts and figures, only 2% of the actual benefit bill is fraudulent claims, meaning that the 98% left is genuine, valid claims. So where does this group Atol get the idea where they should do cuts? So anyone who doesn't know, Atol is if you ever called up, if you are on benefits, especially long-term sick, if you ever get called up for a meeting or what do they call it, an assessment, your assessment will be run by a group called Atol. This company was formed by the Labour government in 2008. It supposedly, when it was formed in 2008, it did have medical staff. People all on board were just all medically trained, like nurses and the odd doctor. That's changed over the past couple of years since the Tories have got in, and they've made it more of a, not medical, but more of a clinical numbers thing, basically. They've pretty much made it harder for you to stay on benefits. They've took so many things off, like if you meet so many checklists, going through some of the checks that you have to meet on one of these Atol visits. If you manage to get to the interview, if you're dressed, if you're clean shaven, mainly, even if you're dressed and you look normal and you manage to get to this meeting, you just take one of their requirements going back to work. Another test that they do, they'll give you a bag with 6 empty pill packets in or something there roundabout. If you can walk and carry this bag so many feet, apparently you're fit to go back to work. My granddad, who's had a stroke last year, who's still partially paralysed down his left side, he could carry a bag of empty 6 pill packets and walk 10 feet. Does that mean that he has to go back to work? We all know the horror stories that have gone on thanks to this Atol group. I've said before about the farmer, the soldier who lost a leg and injured his other leg, and because he hobbled to this meeting, this is how blind and stupid they are. He hobbled to the meeting, he was clean shaven, he hobbled around the room with a bag, and apparently that makes him fit for work. Nothing about the pain that he was in while he was doing it, nothing about the pain he was in for a week after doing this assessment. But apparently he met the requirements to go back to work. There was another. These are just stories off the top of my head. There's thousands. All you have to do is go online and see them. There's some of them horrific. There was another woman who went and she had a couple of medical conditions, but because this group of so-called experts didn't know what these conditions were, this shows them how trained and suitable they are for this job. Because they didn't recognise any of these conditions, they actually stopped the benefit. Within 3 months she died through stress and worrying about it. Do these people have a conscience? You see, this is what my problem is with all this Atol group. There's thousands and thousands of horror stories, and I agree cuts do need to be made on things, but when you're punishing the vulnerable and the weak and people are dying from it, maybe you should change your ways. As I've said, this group that do these Atol meetings now, they're not all medically trained. Some of them are just degree graduates that have been given figures and things that people have to, requirements and stuff. And if they meet them, they tick it and they stop their benefit. I don't think they actually see them as people anymore during these assessments. I think they just see them as numbers. I honestly really do. Because some of the horror stories you see, the way the benefits have been stopped and this and that, they cannot be actually seeing a real person sat there. I honestly think that desensitised to it all, that they don't see humans anymore, they just see figures. And that's what the problem is. It's too clinical, it's too, what's the word? I stick with clinical. It's become too clinical. Like I said, that's people with illnesses. But the other big thing as well that you don't hear a lot of, which I'm surprised about, is people with disabilities having their benefits cut. This really isn't in the media much, and it should be. This is through Atol again. People that have debilitating diseases, disabilities, not having their benefits cut because he managed to stumble to a meeting or do this and that. Are you real? Are you people really human inside? Because honestly, I don't know how you can sleep at night seeing these horror stories. And I mean, some people's benefits that have been stopped, it's took them 6-7 months, but they got the benefits reinstated because it was proven that they were unfit for work. But during those 6 months, the stress you've caused them, making their conditions worse, making them run even more bigger debt up, just for you to sit there and meet a certain quota. I think you're wrong, but I think Atol should be scrapped. I think a new group should be formed. It should consist of a doctor, just a whole group of people like nurses, maybe someone that's got experience with depression, stuff like that. Not just this like one problem nurse and the rest of the office boys just following facts and figures and numbers. As we go to the Conservatives again, Ian Duncan Smith has now declared war. Now he's started his full-blown war on benefits. Now he's declared war on old-age pensioners, saying that bus passes should be stopped and winter fuel allowances should be stopped. Are you for real? Surely you should be hiding that swastika instead of putting it on show. Maybe they should just walk around going like that. I mean, you're picking on old people now. What was it? Benefit people on benefits not weak enough for you, going for someone even weaker now. You should be ashamed. You really are a very sad excuse for a man. I'm not going to swear. There's a lot of words I'd like to describe you, but I'll just put you as a sad excuse of a little man. Very, very little man. You know, picking on people, pensioners. By the way, if it wasn't for these pensioners, you'd be speaking German now, but you'd probably like that seeing as you are a secret Nazi. You're someone who's changed your stance on things before. I mean, I could have sworn a few years ago that you were the ones people that saying life's hard on benefits. But now with your little Mr. Cameron declaring war on people on benefits, now you've done a 360 on it now and saying life isn't hard on benefits and all benefits should be cut. How do you sleep at night? You are just a sad excuse for a little man. Speaking of Mr. Cameron, he's doing his whole bit about declaring war on benefits and this and that. Thing being, this is probably well suited to Mr. Cameron, seeing as his family were slave traders, so really it runs in his blood to screw over the weaker man. It really does. I was actually banned off. I don't know if you've seen it on Google Plus. David Cameron does this thing where he says one of his policies and he asks, "Do you agree with him?" And one of them's about pension reform or something. And he put, "Do you agree?" And he actually replied, "Mr. Cameron, I would not agree with you if you told me the earth was round. Please take a very long walk up a very short cliff." And I put like 4 or 5 of these responses down. It got to the point where I got a message back saying, "Thank you, Mr. Taylor, but your participation is no longer required." And now I'm actually banned from his Google Plus feed. I hate David Cameron Smith. I hate all Tories. I wasn't the biggest fan of Labour, but Tories I absolutely hate. The thing with Tories is they hate working class. They hate people on benefits. They hate people that are vulnerable. They really are a bunch of Nazis. The modern day Nazis. At least Hitler was honest. Do you know what I mean? As much as evil as Hitler was, he was honest. He wanted to just destroy anyone that wasn't the Aryan breed. The Conservatives do it in a very sly way. I mean, look at it. Picking on people on benefits and disabilities, picking on the weak. Isn't that just the same as what Nazis did? Weeded out the weak. I don't know where this country's going. I don't like the looks of where it's going. I wish I was more educated. I wish I was better well spoken to voice my opinions, but I'm just not. It'll take a very cleverer, better spoken person than me to evoke any sort of change. That's the reason why I like YouTube, because I get to come in here and put my point across, because to be honest with you, no one else will listen to me, and it'd end up in an argument and I end up just losing my temper. So I kind of like this kind of thing. As we're going down this road as well, Katie Hopkins, oh my god, this is another excuse of a woman who should really learn to keep her thoughts to herself. She has got no idea what she's talking about. She was on some benefit debate last week, and she's saying, "I'm here to defend the working people." Working people? What job have you ever actually done? What are you famous for? Weren't you caught in a field having an affair? Is that why you're famous? Because you can't keep your knickers up? And you can't be faithful? It's obviously not because of your looks. You look like a back end of an horse. You look like you fell down that ugly fucking tree and someone was at the bottom of the stick and beat the crap out of you with the ugly stick. My God, you wouldn't get gang raped by a bunch of prison convicts. Even they'd go, oh, I'm not touching that. You are horrible. Your vile comments match your vile looks. Honestly, keep your opinions to yourself because no one wants to wear them. What do you know about working? What do you know about working class? What do you actually know about anyone on benefits other than what you've read? Because I guarantee you know nothing. The only thing you know is how to be obnoxious and voice an opinion that really no one wants to hear, including yourself probably. You're just a vile human being. You belong in a burning boat with the rest of the Tories. And I can see that happening one day. I can see all these cuts and people victimising people on benefits and victimising the working class. And people keep pushing them. I can see them bounding and revolving back. I really can. It'll be a horrible thing to see, but it's coming. You working man's had enough. You people on benefits have had enough. These are not people you should be discriminating against. These are vulnerable people that need help. But yet, you're judging them. You're making them justify themselves. You're making people with disabilities justify themselves and their needs. Where do you get the right to do this? Mr. Cameron then, see you're a multi-millionaire, why don't you give back the disability aid that you have for your son that you get, your disability care and allowance thing and your help you get? You're a multi-millionaire, so really why should you be getting that benefit? Maybe you should give that back first. Maybe you should stop all your expenses. Maybe you should stop the tax cut that Eastern Europeans get when they come here because they can have work for 2 years without paying anything back into the country. And when it does come to the second year, 50% of them sod off back home with everything they've saved up. Maybe you should set that off them. Maybe you should chase big businesses for their tax avoidance, which is a known fact will clear the benefits deficit. It would clear a hell of a lot of debt, but you don't, do you? Because your secret backroom shakes and everything else. You are a bunch of hypocritical liars. And like someone said in my channel before, you're just a group of Nazis, and I couldn't agree more. I honestly think we're heading for a shitstorm. I can't think of a better way of putting it. I feel so sorry for anyone on benefits. I feel so sorry for anyone with a disability having to go and justify themselves to a group called Atol, which have absolutely no right making decisions like this. Anyway, thanks for everyone that's watching my vids. I'll be putting another one up this week. And who knows, maybe there's someone clever out there than me that can actually make a point and make something work. Something needs to be done.